These are the Titleist SM9 Wedges. I'm Tom Denby and you're watching Clubhouse Golf. So the SM9 wedges, they've really upped their game here. So the SM8 was such a popular wedge, but they've really improved it with the SM9. It looks fantastic, and they've actually really Bob Vokey's looked at the characteristics of the wedges to make sure that you can maximize your set of wedges for your particular game. So we've got loads of grind options, loads of loft options, loads of bounce options. Now, critically, what have they done that's different, and why is it so much better? Now, critically, they've made the center of gravity across the set of the wedges progressive. So what does that mean? Basically, in the lower lofts, the center of gravity is lower, so it's a bit more forgiveness. Then as they've moved up the lofts, they've actually moved the center of gravity further up the head. So when we look at a 60-degree wedge here, there's more center of gravity, there's more weight at the top here. So why is that important? It's for ball flight control. So what you're looking for on a 60-degree wedge is actually a lower ball flight. And why? Because if you've got a lower ball flight, you've got more spin on it. So a lot of people think that if the ball's going high in the air, you've got more spin. It's not. That'd just be a glancing blow. So if you put the center of gravity higher in the higher lofts, all of a sudden the ball can spin up there a bit more, get a lower ball flight, get a lot more control around the green. So that's how they've enhanced it. So the critical thing with this is it means that you can pick a set of wedges that's going to suit all areas of your game, but also potentially suit the grounds that you play on. And that's where the grind options come into it and the loft options come into it. So we're going to hit a few chips around this green. We're going to talk a bit more in depth around the bounce and the grind options that are available, and also the different head finishes. So the Vokeys have a series of 6 wedge grinds that have been each meticulously developed through years of working with the best players in the world. And the wedge grind is a manipulation or removal of material for the sole of the golf club to help improve contact with the turf. So the grinds allow for more creativity and consistency around the green, letting you play with ball spin, flight, power and other factors. So it's important to use the right wedge grinds for your swing type and course conditions so you can be prepared to every kind of wedge shot. So the Vokey offers those many grinds and options for different situations. So we've talked a little bit about the enhancements that the SM9 is from what Titleist have done. I also want to just touch on the grooves and what they've done with that as well. So their spin milling process is what makes these so good, and also looking at the finer details of the grooves. So in the lower lofts, they've actually got deeper, narrower grooves, because you're just wanting to you're going to be hitting pitching wedges where you're hitting full shots. You want it to move the debris away from the golf ball to get that interaction with the club in the right way. Then as they move into the higher lofts, they've actually made them wider, so it's a slightly shallower but wider. And the reason that's so important is if we're hitting a chip shot like this, you're wanting the ball to grab. You're not having as much grass trapped between the ball because you're not hitting that full shot. So as they move into those higher lofts, they've changed that groove, which is a really essential part of it. They've also made sure that they've kept the heat treating process into the face here. So we've got, they're not done it across the whole of the face, they've just done it in the hitting area, and basically that helps the club to last longer, really, and basically make it so that it's not going to wear out as much, because the grooves are so important. Now as we hit a little chip up to here, so I've got a 60-degree here, and because of that center of gravity that we talked about earlier, we get that really nice low ball flighting, that really nice check-in flight into there. But the really pleasing thing for me is they haven't gone away from that trusted shape that Vokey have always had. They look fantastic. The fact you've got the different heads in terms of the colours is great. So if I move to the black head here, it still looks great. It's not it doesn't suit my eye, the black head. I prefer the satin finish, but if that's the sort of cut finish you like and the colour that you like, you can choose that, and then combine that with all the grind options and the bounce options. They've really nailed it here. There's absolutely no way you can't get a set of wedges here that's going to suit your game.